I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
All right. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about all of the chaos here for a second. Give me 1 second. We've got a couple different people messaging me, asking me how the weather's doing, what's going on. I was just looking at we've got some weather watches and warnings going on tonight. I think everybody in the immediate, it's 9:10. I think everybody immediately watching here is out of any kind of danger. Let me pull this up on the screen so everybody can see. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. This is the Political Spotlight. This is the 251st episode. And it's kind of a last minute. It's kind of a last minute throw together thing. Until 10 minutes ago, was going to do a different show. And then that's the reason we're late. It's hey, Janet, welcome. I'm glad you're here. We need people like Janet here. We've got some good, we're going to have a good conversation tonight. We've got some serious talking we need to do tonight. Until literally like a minute before going live, I was going to do a show talking again about the Henry County Sheriff because, as those of you who were here last night know, when I read through the newspaper article, when we got done with the show last night, I emailed my attorney and I said, hey, can you please send me any filings that the sheriff has, his team has filed? And he was like, whoops, I'm so sorry. That slipped me. He was like, I honestly thought I had done that. I'm so glad you emailed me. And he sent it to me this morning. So I have the actual filing. And until 10 minutes ago, that's what this show is going to be about. I had a whole other duck ready to go. I had a thumbnail picked out and the description all wrote out. And then I saw a comment. Yes, it is about Monica's post. I saw a comment on a friend of mine's post. And keep in mind, I also listened to Donald Rainwater's interview today on 93.1 WIBC. He killed it today. Let me tell you, Rainwater knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. I listen to Rob and Casey, and good friends with Rob. I love Rob Kendall. Like the commentary when we agree, when we disagree. I think it's fantastic. They do a lot of good work there. So I thought that was an interesting interview. I actually talked to Rainwater this afternoon. Matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, I will announce just briefly that we are going to be, it's not actually going to be a political spotlight ordeal. It will be specifically for Rainwater. It'll be a town hall, 3 town hall forums that the political spotlight will be producing and moderating. Kate, Brandon, and I will be producing and moderating 3 town hall events for Rainwater. The first one will be at 7 p.m. on Thursday, August 15th. The second one will be at 7 p.m. on September 12th. And the third will be at 7 p.m. on October 17th. The links are already created, and in the next couple coming days and weeks, the Rainwater team, and in conjunction with the Political Spotlight, Lighthouse Studios, will put forth an email and a link where you, the public, can submit questions to. And across these 3 forums, you, the public, will be able to ask questions to candidate Rainwater. And so it's going to be very important that you guys get questions in, and you've got a couple different dates and times that you will be able to do that. And so it'll be fantastic. Okay, before we get started on everything, I want to put this out here so you guys can see this, because this is in real time. This is for the live audience, whether you're listening to this on audio or you're watching this in the future. This is only pertinent to the people that are watching this at 9:16 p.m. on Monday, the 29th of July, 2024. We're going to put forth the weather radar here so you guys can see this, so we can make sure that everyone in our viewing area is safe. We want everyone to be safe. Obviously, here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Delaware County, city of Muncie. This has been paused at 9:05 p.m. We're going to run it forward here. There's 7:50. There's 8, 8:15, 8:20, 8:30. Here's 9 o'clock. There's 9:15. 9:15. So 2 minutes ago, this system was out of Newcastle, out of Winchester, and out of Delaware County. Now, we do have this system coming back here out to the west of us. Let's see where we go from here. 9:20. It's starting to destabilize and break up a little bit, as it does, because, of course, it's coming into the river, the Horseshoe River, and you can see it's starting to break up, as it always does. Look, yeah, look at it destabilize. I'm telling you, man, it's so weird. Just that it always happens. What a blessing from God, it's just what a weird deal. So that's 9:45. That's in about 30 minutes from now. It will be weaker, and then look, it strengthens back up as it leaves the area. So I believe for the rest of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, that we in the viewing area here throughout East Central Indiana, specifically Central and East Central Indiana, Delaware County, Henry County, Wayne County, Randolph County, Jay County. We're all going to be Madison County. We're all going to be safe the rest of this evening. Please keep an eye to the sky, listen to your warnings and watches, and act accordingly. But I think that we're going to be okay here. And my thoughts and prayers are anybody that's affected with this. My thoughts and prayers go out to anybody. But I think we're going to be fine. So that's that. And there's your weather update. Weather on the 19s. The political spotlight. Okay, so now that we got that behind us, let me share this to Twitter. I'm really upset with what's happening in Twitter. I changed my picture, and because I changed my picture, it told me that my blue little check mark that we had been verified, it needed to be pulled away for a minute so they could verify that nothing strange had happened to the account. I'm like, what? It's me. It's literally a picture of me. So I don't know what the deal is there, but because of that, we can't live stream. Now I have to share the link. And so the last couple nights, it's been really a bugger. I hate it. I hate that goes on. I don't understand what the deal is. So bear with me one second as I share this to do that. All right, that. Oh my God. Tonight, I will try to remind everyone that JD Prescott isn't the amazing public servant that some have suddenly started thinking he is. Okay, we'll come back here, save that. We'll post that. Let me come up here and make sure that this is fixed because this looks crazy. Bear with me one second here, folks. I really hate when we do things at the last second. And generally, this wouldn't have been a last second deal. We were all ready to go. I've been in the duck and making things and links since like 4:00 this afternoon. But then we literally changed right here ahead of time because of a post I read, and I just could not let it stand. This aggression will not stand. Give me a second here. Okay, here we are.
So, as much trouble as he's having with Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, we've got some people asking about Rumble in here. So you keep working and I'll explain what Rumble is. So we have Rumble. Rumble is wonderful.
Wait, people are asking what Rumble is?
No. Okay. Why we don't have stuff on Rumble? Why we aren't live on Rumble? And
we will be very soon.
We will be hopefully soon. But going live on Rumble requires that we not do things at the last minute. And Kristopher, as we all know, is on Bilbrey on Standard Time. And so last minute is kind of par for the course. You have to get a link from Rumble and all these codes, and then you have to go into the duck and put those in from Rumble for each episode that you want to live stream. It's kind of a pain in the butt, and it cannot be done last minute. We also have to upload a video for an introduction. So there's some work to be done there with Rumble. We're getting there. Just be patient, but
wrong. I figured out a way to hack it. I watched last night. I figured out a way to hack it so we can continue being slackers and waiting to the last minute and still do what we need to do to get on Rumble. I'm hoping by next Monday, our Monday, which will be next Sunday, I'm hoping by next Sunday to officially be on Rumble. We do have to make basically a video of like a loop video. Once we do the loop video, that will be the same loop video that we always do. It'll probably just be the video of the generic cover sheet, our cover thumbnail, the thing that says "Perception is Reality." So it will probably be that, and it'll just loop that, and then we will be able to. I will have a stream key. We'll be able to use that same stream key, and it will pick the different links we need. So hopefully by this time next week, we will be on Rumble.
Woohoo!
So,
and yes, we did get all 440 pages of Sproul's filings.
Yes,
it's been an entertaining read.
Yeah,
I think that's for another day, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll be doing the Sproul's thing. Because of this, I don't know that we'll be doing it tomorrow, but we will be doing it. We will be doing it in the next couple of days. So, it will be awesome. Okay, let me check and make sure that we have one last thing here done. I don't understand what is going on. Why? I tell you, the deal with it's not a haircut. No. I cheated. I literally just gelled it down a little bit more. So we're not actually in haircut mode. We just gelled it down a little bit more than normal tonight. So I don't know, someone just tried to call me for some reason. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Sorry, folks. You know what this does is this gives me space to be able to cut out when I'm doing the audio, when I'm putting the audio together for the audio folks. So it lets me, I know that I'll have area that I can cut on the audio. So I'm just thinking ahead. I'm still getting a phone call for some reason. Hold on. Hello. No, they aren't. They're at home. I don't know, but I got to go on live. Bye. It's 9:36, 9:26. Grandma and Grandpa aren't in Richmond. That's nuts. Okay. We'll see if that works. All right. Now, very good. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are finally good to go. Sorry about that. Okay, so welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Nearly 27 minutes in, 22 minutes in, 27 minutes past 9. We can finally get to the show. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 251st episode of the show. Welcome. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your time. Appreciate you being here. This is going to be an interesting episode, and it might not be very long because I'm just honestly on this going to speak until I'm done. And then once I'm done, that'll be it, because I don't have an actual show planned out. Here's the deal. today, damn it. Sorry for those of you. We're having some, maybe the weather's messing with the Wi-Fi. We're having some issues. I keep having some tech issues on this side. I apologize. So earlier today, it's just one of those things where I just want to just kill it and be done with it. So earlier today, the 93.1 WIBC ran an interview with my friend Donald Rainwater. He is the Libertarian candidate running for governor of the state of Indiana. He has had Mike Braun on. Braun went on their show last Friday on my birthday. And Rainwater's obviously been on. We've talked to Rainwater. We've had on Micah Beckwith. We have officially reached out to the Braun campaign, and we are in communications with the Braun campaign about having Mike Braun on. We have also been in communications with Jennifer McCormick. We had a date scheduled for Jennifer McCormick to come on Thursday, July 18th. A week before that date, they had to cancel for some unforeseen booga booga. I think someone got in their ear and said, "Oh, you don't want to go on there." And I mean, that's just unfortunate in my opinion. When you are a candidate that is running vastly uphill, you need to be every place that you can be. And so we are still trying to work out the negotiations. I hope that we can get the McCormick campaign on here. I want to hear what she has to say. I want to offer that out to you. I hope that Braun will come on. I want to hear what the Braun campaign will have to say. And I want to offer that out to you because that's what we're trying to do here in this situation, is give you a little taste of all three people. So the big deal, yeah, I see that, Charlize. The big deal was last Friday. Braun went on and announced his property tax reform. And so for those of you that don't know, 93.1 that don't listen to Rob, Kendall, and Casey Daniels, they're a conservative radio talk show. And I would say Rob and I are similar in the meaning that neither one of us trust the establishment. Neither one of us are friends of the establishment. The establishment doesn't think highly of Rob or myself. That doesn't necessarily mean we're friends of the other side either. We're as hated by the Democrat establishment as we are the Republican establishment. Probably all truth being told, the Libertarian establishment, it's just not very established. But all of that being what it is, there are differences, obviously, between what goes on. But we are very similar, I would say. And so Rob is a personal friend of Micah Beckwith. And when I say a personal friend, I just mean he is his preacher. They go to the same church, yada, yada, yada. Now, that being said, Rob was very supportive of the rainwater campaign in 2020. So I thought that this was going to be an interesting election cycle because you have Rob, who I thought was going to immediately just be in Rainwater's camp, but oh no, he's not. He is really vetting them out. Now, I personally believe that he says that he's not picked his team yet and that he will give an endorsement later on down the road. I personally believe that Rob will eventually pick the Braun team. And I hate to hear that. That's something that he and I are going to disagree on. And so it just is, it is what it is. I think in the end, he is going to give more credence to Micah Beckwith than what Micah will deserve at that point. I don't mean anything negative about Micah as far as that. Just bottom line, Braun is going to be the governor. Period. Braun's going to be the governor if that team wins, and Micah is not going to have the reach and the voice that I think that Rob hopes that he would have. Okay? So that's just my personal opinion. Okay? So we are going to have a show here coming up very soon. I just talked to Brandon this evening. Hopefully sometime maybe yet this week. We are going to have a show where we break down the property tax reform plans of both Braun and Rainwater. We're going to break them both down. We're going to put them out. We're going to lay them out side by side, and we're going to let you see them. Now, it is important to note that as of this morning, the Braun Beckwith team, their campaign, is now pulling back a little bit, backpedaling on what they actually told Rob and Casey just a couple of days ago. Okay? Very, very important to understand this. Listen to what I'm telling you. Braun came on last Friday and said, this is what my plan is, X, Y, and Z. Here's my paper. One of the things that he said was that they were going to be taking property tax bills back to pre-2021 time frame. And Rob and Casey both said, wait a minute, are you saying that's part of your plan? Because it's not on your paper here. And Braun said, oh, yes, it definitely is. And they were like, okay, we just want to make sure because you haven't included that on your paper here. And he said, oh, no, that's seriously what we're talking about doing. And they were like, okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, it was released today that the campaign is now kind of backpedaling on that. And Rob did what Rob does. Rob got upset. He was like, well, it's only been 3 days, you know. Listen, I could have told him that. The fact that it was not on that paper meant it was not part of the plan. Braun was just telling Rob what he wanted to hear while he was in there. You know, it is what it is there. I don't know how else to say it. So it's going to be interesting to see how they worm out of this. Okay. That's that. So Kendall and Casey had Rainwater on today. Rainwater was on for about an hour, and it was a great segment. He killed it. Matter of fact, Kendall said today that if he had to vote today, he would vote rainwater. If he was voting based off the words alone, what was said, he was voting rainwater. And he went back and forth on different things, and he was talking about the realistic, chances of rainwater winning versus a Braun winning, and he was talking about money. And, they ask, Casey asked Rainwater, what his chances of being able to advance the ball forward was. And Rainwater simply said it like this. And for everybody who says, well, he can't win, this is a wasted vote, stop. When you're playing basketball, it's very simple. You have two teams. Say you have two people playing basketball against each other, one-on-one. At the end of the game, whichever player has at least one more point than the other is the winner. This is a one-on-one basketball game. At the end of the election, whichever governor candidate has at least one vote more than the other two, will win. This doesn't have to be about money. It's going to be, and it's going to be a big thing, and that's a big thing. So far, Rainwater is keeping on par with what he needs to do. Now it's going to get real hard. I am happy to say that Rainwater is and will be a part of all of the debates. He will be a part of all of the debates on TV, which is good. We're going to be doing the town halls here, which will be going out everywhere. But at the end of the day, if people say, am I happy with where the Republican supermajority have us? If I have everything that I want under the Republican supermajority, if I'm happy with that, then good, vote Republican. If I'm not, then you've got two choices. Do you want to vote McCormick? Do you want to vote Rainwater? If more people vote Rainwater than vote McCormick, or the more people vote Rainwater than McCormick and Braun, Rainwater wins. If more people vote for Braun than Rainwater and McCormick, Braun wins. If more people vote for McCormick over Rainwater or Braun, McCormick wins. That's as simple as it gets. The rest is up to us. Who we can get out, push, talk to, vote, get registered, get them to the polls. We have a hand in this. All right. So they were in there and they were talking about this. And again, we're going to break down the property tax reform. Brandon's going to come on and we're going to do big thing. And it's going to be a great episode. You will not want to miss that. Hopefully we'll be able to do it this week. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure just yet, but we will, I will let you know. It'll be soon. That being said, one of the things that has interested me has been the fact that Rob Kendall, while he was talking to Braun last Friday, both before Braun was in and then after Braun was in, and then again today, Rob has been saying something. And it was really interesting to me. Last week, Rob said There is a state, this is what he said, there is a state representative that has been working on a plan for property tax reform. And I can't give away who it is, but I've been talking to him and working with him on this, and we've been working this out. And we are going to bring this forward, and we're going to put it, we're going to bring it out to you very soon. And I was like, oh, interesting. I wonder who that is. Immediately, to top of my mind, went the question, wait a minute. If Braun walked his happy little feet into the studio on Friday, July 26th, 2024, and sat down and interviewed, and he's the head of the ticket in Indiana. All right, he's top of the ballot in the state of Indiana, technically top of the Republican Party in the state of Indiana. If he came in and announced his plan, what is this other plan that this other Republican state representative is working on? So does that mean the Indiana Republican Party has two plans? That shows, as Kate said, some contention within the party. It makes one wonder, are there Republicans that do not have faith in Mike Braun's plan? Are there Republicans that are not happy with the Braun candidate? We know that there are a whole lot of people in the Republican Party that did not like Micah Beckwith. We know that they were not happy with Beckwith. But Braun wasn't happy with Beckwith either. Braun and Braun's pick were part of the establishment. But Beckwith won, and I was happy that that happened because of the fact that it shook up the establishment. It showed the worthless ass Republicans that have been doing things the same way for the last 10 years because we have a super duper majority, that there are people out here paying attention, and you guys can get got. You can lose elections. The way that you want things ran will not always be the way that things are being ran. So I was joyous in that. I was happy that Beckwith pulled it off. Now, a problem that I have is the fact that Braun had to beat this plan together and work on this plan in the last month. They had to create this plan over the last month. They didn't have this plan. This isn't a plan that he's been talking about for the last year. They had to create this plan. And immediately, the question I had when this plan was brought forward on Friday, last Friday, my birthday, my question immediately was, where was this plan in 2023? Where was this plan in 2022? Where was this plan? You're talking about bringing the bills back to pre-2021 time period. Where was this plan in 2021? Okay. That was question number one. Then Braun leaves, and Rob says again, we'll be presenting another plan to you here in the next couple days, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wait a minute. There is a second Republican plan? Why are there two plans? Why are they working on another plan? And it's going to be different. Rob is saying that the plan is going to be different. Rob is actually talking, and from the very little that I've heard Rob say about this, Rob is talking about how the Braun plan is like a step in the right direction, but this other person's plan is going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big plan. Now, Rainwater's plan crushes the Braun plan. Just absolutely crushes it. So today, Rob Kendall, while he was talking on the radio, both before and after, Rainwater interview, talked about how on August 5th, that's a week from today, 1 week from today, on Monday, August 5th, we, the citizens of Indiana, we will be able to hear hold on a second. Let me look. We will be able to hear that plan next week. Hold on. I'm going to look up. We're getting a new weather alert. Let me look up. Obviously, do what you've got to do. Don't get sucked out a window and taken to Oz because you're watching me. That would be horrible. 10:50. $9.50. Okay, so it looks as though it's going south of the city of Muncie proper. Definitely strong rain and winds in the Anderson city proper, Daleville area.
We've got comments in here. Confirmed tornado in west central Madison County. Tornado confirmed touchdown at Perkinsville, heading east towards Winchester. We have a basement.
I don't know where the hell Perkinsville's at.
I have no idea where Perkinsville is either.
I mean, there is nothing heading on the map heading towards Winchester.
Madison County. It's on western Madison County along the Hamilton County line.
Okay.
State Route 13. It's north west of Anderson.
North of Lapel. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Stay up here for a second.
Okay.
If you could, please. I just pulled up the weather radar thing, and when I do that, it makes everything go wonky.
I keep pulling mine up, and Niles's phone has beeped a couple of times to say we've got a tornado warning, but then I'm pulling up the weather on my phone and I'm not finding anything.
All right. So here's 10:05. Here's what it looks like at 10:05.
You probably know Vistaprint for business cards.
Yep.
But did you know we also print these and those?
Tornado Alley Weather Center on Facebook. Fantastic. Tornado warning including Alexandria, Indiana, Frankton, Indiana, and Linwood until 10:15. Let's see here.
Here's what gave them the tornado warning there. It's all going south of my grandparents, north of Newcastle. Let me see here.
Confirmed tornado in Centerville. That is heading southeast towards 5 Points, south of Richmond. Sure if that's a compliment, Charlize. Thank you.
What?
She said I'm better looking than Chuck Lofton.
Yeah, yes. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we need Audie for play-by-play.
Flat Chuck, however, is pretty good looking. Flat Chuck. If you know who Flat Chuck is. Well, yeah, I don't know. Take cover if it's bad at your house. Other than that,
if you have a bathroom in an interior part of your house, it's a really good place to go if you don't have a basement.
If you have a bathroom on top of your house.
Ground floor, interior walls, bathroom.
Mm-hmm. So, well, that's enough weather for me. I mean, we're hey, has anybody blown away? We all good?
Well,
can we get back to the politics?
Well, we do want to make sure that we have our viewers tomorrow night. So it's probably a good idea to, keep half an eye on things so no one does blow away. I'll go away.
No, I said speak for yourself, not go away. Speak for yourself. No, I love you guys. I'm glad you're all here. Well, I hope everybody. My problem is I don't have anywhere safe to hide. What do you mean you don't have anywhere safe to hide? Listen to me. I'm going to tell you guys a very serious thing. I'm going to tell you. If you don't have a basement, if you don't have a bathroom that you would work, I don't even care if you have a bathroom. Take your couch, take pillows, and take your couch. Your couch as it sets on the floor. Flip your couch over. Crawl under it so your couch is now like this on the floor, and crawl in. If the shit's hitting the fan, specifically, laying in the tub's good if you cover yourself. No, not supposed to be here. 10:59 is an hour from now. In an hour from now, it's going to be completely out of the area. It's gone. This is the last little. Well, it could still blow up some more stuff, I guess. I think it's just the. That's when the watch runs out. Crawl in between the couch, because you have cushion and you have wood, and it's that frame, so things that fall, because you don't people never understand what kills them in a tornado. You don't get sucked out the window. The tornado doesn't pull your head off. You die because you get hit in the head with something. That's the only reason you die in a tornado. You get hit in the head with something, and it crushes your skull or cracks your head. That's the reason. Breaks your neck. So you want a shell around you. Flip that couch over, crawl under that couch. You will be safe. All right, back to the politics. So, what Rob Kendall talked about today after his interview with Don was that a week from today, 1 week from today, we will have a second Republican tax reform, property tax reform plan. And the reason we will have that is because none other than JD Prescott, District 33 State Representative, District 33 State Representative, will be walking into the studio. Wait a minute. Janet's saying not yet. What do you mean? Are you still hiding? You want me to pause? Is that what we're doing? Hold on. We still got tornadoes going on in your neck of the woods. What's happening? Tell me what's happening. Now I'm worried. She said not yet, and she's not said anything else back. Don't make me send people looking for you. Well, now I'm worried. Janet, respond. Just even with a number or a letter or a period. Ta-da. Hey, that's a really serious, that's a real serious things. That's a real serious idea. 10:03. Let me look here. Yeah, it's. Hold on. I'll give the obligatory call to my grandparents. Make sure they're good. Hold on. Stand by. Hey, how's the weather there?
Other than that, I don't have any other updates to pass along. I should probably check the Facebook.
Yes, that's the stuff in the background. Okay. I mean, you guys are good though. Is it windy or? Okay. All right. Very good. I just wanted to check. I mean, they're not now. That you sent that over 45 minutes ago. I'm sure they're not now. Oh, well, okay. All righty. Okay. Well, nowhere, because it's good here. We're good here. So, all righty. Soon. All right. Right. All right.
Let's catch back up on all the storms that are ongoing, so everybody's on the same page here.
I wish they would.
We got some storms that are firing north of Lafayette, up near Logansport.
I wish they would pull it in, but not so.
Right now, those are severe.
So far in,
we
or
have
so
a cluster
far
cells north of Indianapolis. Yeah. One of those was a confirmed tornado about 15-20 minutes ago. Still tornado warned, but not as impressive as it was. Further south and east, we have two other cells. One of them's tornado warned, but the rotation's in Ohio now.
It's gone. Okay.
The other one is southwest of Richmond. Watching that one closely. Additional cells firing near Bloomington. Others near Sullivan, Terre Haute, and others down near Jasper.
We don't need to worry about that.
So a lot of action, a lot of moving pieces.
The only thing anyone here, I don't know where y'all are at, I guess. That's the number one thing. If you're here go back there, pull it back up. If you're here in East Central Indiana, the only thing you need to worry about is, they immediately, they're so crazy. Like, happy medium, guys. Not so crazy with that. Was right there. All right. Yeah, stop. Yeah, right there, guys. This right here is what any of us have to worry about. As soon as this is out, we should be good. And, I would say that most of this will be out of the way in the next 10 minutes. And they said it was moving at about 12 to 15 miles per hour. So, all right. I hope everybody's okay. Keep us posted. We'll see what's going on. It is what it is. Stupid weather. Okay, so anywho, so JD Prescott is the state representative that Kendall has been talking about, that is working on this other plan. Now, hearing that just absolutely floors me, because JD Prescott is an errand boy for Todd Houston. All right. Like, go get your shine box and all. I mean, he does not wake up and take a leak in the morning before checking with Todd. Todd tells him when he can say hi to his kids, his dad's kids. Todd Houston tells him how he, what he can think, when he can eat, what he can do, who he can talk to. JD does not have a brain outside of the establishment, the HRCC, the Republican Party, the Republican leadership in the General Assembly. Period. So, number one, it's strange to hear that JD is so close to Micah. And listen, now I know the reason that is. The reason they're so close is because of the religious aspect. And I am not going to knock JD for his religion, primarily because we believe in the same religion. I believe in the same God that JD believes in. Micah, JD, and I share the same religious beliefs. I'll get back to that in a moment. So, besides that, it's weird that JD is so buddy-buddy with Micah. And I remember back during the Republican state convention when Rob was like, JD and I hugged. And I thought, oh man, don't get sucked into this. Don't get sucked into this. Don't get sucked into this, man. So, yeah, Niall says if he's such a great Christian, he needs to start acting like it. Yeah, absolutely. Well, so what's interesting to me is JD's now taking some major steps outside of the Republican establishment, which leads me to believe, one, there's been a falling out between JD and the people in charge. Okay. There's been a falling out. Or the establishment does not really care for Mike Braun, and they're trying to make some kind of in-run around him. That's a very good possibility. The establishment has had a falling out with Braun. Or JD's trying to do something on the sneaky, but going on a radio station and announcing this isn't the way to do that. What blows my mind is in 1 week from today, all right, less than a week at this point, we're going to hear JD And Rob Kendall talk about this new plan. Okay. And that's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really interesting. Who gets the bigger cut? That's absolutely the truth. Well, so what's really strange to me is I want to pull up this post here. So a friend of mine, and I'm not going to out this person. Because I didn't ask, and even though it's on social media, I'm just going to talk cut up. So this friend of mine on Facebook says, did I understand correctly that Mike Braun reversed his property tax plan that he announced last week on the Kendall and Casey show on 93.1 WIBC? Now, yes and no. No, he didn't reverse his plan. But he and his campaign are now backtracking in some of the aspects that were announced. That's all. Okay, that's what was announced. All right. So there were several comments to this post. And let's see here. Rob Kendall said he backed off the reset that all bills would be taken to 2021, and now is tying it to the homestead deduction, which they've now discovered they're welcome. Rob says, doesn't help a huge amount of taxpayers, 1 penny. Now, to the credit, they're trying to fix it to get the help, but this was not what he said on the show. And that is true. Rob is 1,000% correct. If that's what they're trying to do, then I would absolutely believe that that was a total 180 on what he told Rob last Friday. Just absolutely true. So this person said, so because I paid off my house, I don't have a homestead deduction. How does this help me? And someone else said, you have a homestead credit as long as that is your primary residence. But if you have refinance or change to the deed for any reason, you will have to refile for the homestead deduction. If you have a mortgage on your homestead and you pay it off, you are no longer for the mortgage deduction. Let's see here. Someone else said you can go to the bank and get a small loan and keep it paid off. Use occasionally, and then you get back your homestead credit back. I don't want a flipping loan. I worked hard to pay off the house in 15 years. Why would I want a loan? And there's people just fighting back and forth about this nonsense, basically, that Braun has created. So we've got one plan that Braun has put in place, or saying that he wants to put in place, that sounds like a complete cluster. Now we're hearing that the Republicans, through JD Prescott, are now developing this other plan. So my question is, which plan are they going to push? I commented on this post and I said, what I find odd is we have Braun, who is literally running for governor, the top of the ticket as we speak. And he has just in the last month worked through a property tax reform plan. Hell, he just announced it last Friday. But at the very same time, Republican State Representative JD Prescott has also been working on a different plan for the very same thing. Why? Does this mean that he does not have faith in his party's pick for governor, and or the plan that pick is now pushing? Will this mean that the Republicans have two plans that they'll be pushing? If so, what for? What will happen in this situation if or when Braun's plan is pushed to the side for JD's. What will happen? What will happen to JD if this is discovered and they push JD's to the side for Braun's? Will the leadership be mad at JD for siding with Kendall and for stepping out and siding for Beckwith? Because look, we all know that JD was a fan all the way for Suzanne Crouch. He wanted Crouch to be the next governor because he has an in. JD has an in with Crouch to the lieutenant governor, and thus he thinks to the governor's seat because of Crouch. He didn't get Crouch, and now he's all team Beckwith. Yay, Beckwith, okay? JD is not to be trusted, and Beckwith, trust him. And I know, I asked JD, I asked Beckwith. We talked when Beckwith was on my program. We talked about JD. I get it. I have the same conversation with my grandmother almost daily. Almost daily. I'm going to tell you what that conversation is. My grandmother says that she liked Jimmy Carter. And she then says Jimmy Carter was the best president we've ever had. And I quickly say, no. You mean he was a good man. I will admit that Carter was a good man. He was a good Christian man. He was a good human. He was a terrible president. Carter was a terrible president. Good man, good Christian, terrible president. You can be a good man and you can be a terrible politician. You can be a good politician and a terrible human. Some might say we're seeing that right now. Some might say we're seeing that right now. Tweety Bird says, still a good man. Yes, but those things are not together. Because you're a good man does not make you a good president. Does not make you a good. I say on here all the time that Dan Ridenour might very well be a good husband, a good father, a good friend. I've got no qualms with that. I don't know him personally, but he's not a good mayor. Okay? I don't know him personally. I don't know JD personally. Maybe JD is a good person. Maybe JD is a good husband. Maybe he's a good father. Probably is. I'm not going to say he's not. Okay? Okay? The thing is, number one, take issue. I disagree. You can't be a good, wait a minute. I disagree. You can't be a good man and a bad politician. Oh no, that makes no sense. Oh, you guys are killing me. You guys are killing me. So does that mean no, listen. Being a good politician, there are several things that go into that. Being able to, number one, know that it means being a politician means not being a politician. It means being a public servant. It means you have a negotiation skill. You have the ability to see both short-sighted and see downfield. Okay. There's lots of things. It would be like me saying, okay, so to being a good man, to be a good bowler, you have to be a good man. To be a good lawyer, you have to be a good man. Being a president or being a mayor or being a commissioner you could be a good preacher and not be a good man. We're mixing things up. We're mixing things up. I'm not talking about having a moral compass. I'm talking about leadership ability. We all have various different skills. Some people are born to follow. Some people are born to lead. So you're telling me Yeah, they are good analogies, because in all of those analogies, you have to learn. Because okay, so what makes a good preacher? What makes a good preacher? What are the characteristics that make a good preacher?
Charisma.
Okay, charisma,
Knowledge of the Bible.
knowledge
Being
of the
able
Bible.
to relay that.
Okay, what happens if you're the
Speaking
best
skills.
man in the world? You know the Bible inside and out,
Mhm.
but you're mute.
Actions speak louder than words.
Now it's over here. Actions speak louder than words.
Actions speak louder than words. Let's talk about Sproles. Let's talk about Sproles. Sproles, I believe, is probably, in some aspects, a good Christian. I also think that he's a bad man.
There's this thing called hypocrisy. All of us
right.
are walking hypocrites.
Yeah, right.
All of us.
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference between being a Christian and religious. There are a lot of religious people in the United States. There's far fewer Christians. And the stuff that's being done by individuals who claim to be Christians are not something Christians would do. That's why there's
The difference between religion and
a
Christianity.
lot of people who say they're Christian. Well, they're religious, very religious, but they're not Christians.
Absolutely.
God gave us Christ and man created religion.
Yeah. Did somebody say that?
Huh?
Did someone say that?
Says
Yeah, it was Dr. Say's.
said religion's proof that man can screw anything up.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
So the things that make you a good leader are not necessarily things that make you a good person. I don't need to be charismatic to be a good person.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And
you
being
could
able
be
to convey
shy.
information. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My youngest brother is a very good person. He right now is going through the process of creating a career in law enforcement, and they are going to teach him the things that will make him a good law enforcement officer. And he has the temperament that will make him a good law enforcement officer. I don't know necessarily that he will be a leader in law enforcement, because you will have, just like Niles knows, you have the people who are leadership in the military, and then you have the people who are the grunts, who are the people, the rank and file. You have the people who are this is what you do, this is how you do it. They're the ones that are giving out the commands, and then you have the people who take the commands and go forth with those plans.
Yeah.
And that's very much the same.
Niles was a leader.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I knew he was a leader because when they came home from deployment, every single man that was underneath him came to our house for our monthly barbecue. And the first time they walked in the door after returning from deployment, looked at me and said, I am so glad that he was with us. He is the reason we all came home.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's how I know he was a good leader.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think that I think that to be a good politician, you need a mixture of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But
to be a good politician, you also need ambition. And ambition, in a lot of times, is something that makes you not a good person.
Not necessarily a good person. That's why they say a lot of times that serial killers are antisocial personality, psychopath, sociopath. However, a lot of attorneys, a lot of politicians, a lot of car salesmen are also antisocial personality, psychopath, sociopath. You can have someone who is a sociopath that can decide to do good with that and decide to do bad with that.
Yeah.
So again,
choice. So again, that's, you have good psychopaths and bad psychopaths.
Yeah, right.
Well, but it's the actions that speak. It's not the personality trait.
Yeah. Speaking of that,
the choices you make. And that's the same thing in politics. I can be a psychopath.
Yeah.
But I choose to turn that energy into, I'm going to make myself look good because I helped bring in, a $10 million, company that hired 1,000 people. Mm-hmm. That makes me look good, but it's good for my community too.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make me a good person.
Well, and the thing is, like you might have sociopath who is a serial killer, or you might have a sociopath who is a surgeon. They don't mind to do the cutting and be in the blood and the guts, but they choose to do something good with it. And the other thing,
and they find they find excitement and they get their high off of that life and death choice.
Yes. Absolutely.
But they use that and it actually helps other people. It would be hard for a good person, a moral person, to be the one in the operating room with the knife in their hand saying, if I make this cut, I might kill them. I can't do it. I want a psychopath operating on me. Thank you.
Right.
Do it.
Right.
Do it and save me, and then you can take all the glory you want, and I'll kiss your ass when I'm done, but make the cut,
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. The Pharisees and the Sadducees were religious.
Absolutely. Well, and that's like GW said, you can be moral and not be religious. I know a couple very good people who are atheists. Now, in someone's belief, they're going to go to hell. In other people's belief, they're not, whatever. But in their belief, they're going to snuff out and whatever, but they're still going to live a life that is, they're not out here killing and raping and mugging and drugging. And, they're living a life.
Their neighbors and doing good things because they choose to, and not because some moral, religious thing that they feel like they're obligated to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Sorry.
No. That's spot on. So the point of all of that is, here's what I have to base JD Prescott on as far as being a public servant. a politician. JD Prescott has attempted to control the rooms he has been in. He has said, I will not speak if the audience is going to video or audio record me. I do not want to be in public and be recorded. He has told people, you better not record me. I better not hear anything that I say put on the internet. He has told teachers and other organizations, I'll come talk to you, but it's got to be private, no recording. I don't want, I can decide who's there. JD Prescott has attempted to say that he will or will not interact with constituents. JD Prescott will not answer questions that I have for him. JD Prescott will attempt to have me carted out of a room if I go and attempt to record him when he, as an elected official, is giving a third house session. Okay, a legislative update. JD Prescott has, for the last several years, put forward bills as a legislator to silence people, to stop them from redressing their government, to have his elected officials be protected against redress from government. I don't care how much he tithes on Sunday morning. I don't care how many songs he sings his kids to sleep. I don't care how many pats on the head he gives his kids. I don't care. No, charisma is not an indicator of a good man. Charisma is an indicator of possibly a good leader, a good politician. I think that was backwards. JD Prescott could very well possibly be a good human being, good Christian, but he is not a public servant. Now, Micah has had no problem talking to JD. JD talks to Micah. Micah doesn't question JD on things. JD will talk with him. They're friends. They're buddies. Micah knows him as a Christian. Micah knows him as a friend. Micah does not have an experience with him as an elected official. Let me tell you, the elected officials that Micah has been fighting against, act just like JD does when JD is in his district. The people that Micah fight back against, the establishment, that is JD Prescott. I wonder how Micah reconciles those two things. I don't understand how he reconciles those two things. The same people that Micah fight against pile money into JD's pockets so that he can beat good people, good leaders, good candidates. It's interesting to me. Rob Kendall has had nothing but battle after battle after battle after battle with JD Prescott. That's a good possibility, Niles. That's a good possibility. That's a very good possibility that Micah needs money from JD. family money, his support from JD's support from the PAC comes from HRCC to JD to Micah. Very good possibility. Okay. Rob Kendall knows that JD Prescott is not a good public servant. But because Rob is friends with Micah, and Micah is friends with JD, and because JD and Rob hugged at the convention, all's forgiven. I just don't want Rob to be sucked into this belief that JD is a good public official. What I want to know is, again, it's odd that just now you got Braun and JD buckling down and worrying about property tax reform, even though we've had a super duper majority for 10 plus years, and they've never seemed to care about this in the past. Where was JD's plan during the last several years while this has been a problem, mainly a big problem after COVID? Where was this plan of JD's during the last several years while he has been hiding from constituents? Where was this plan of JD's while he was hiding from questions, while he was only concerned with protecting he and his elected friends? Why was he?
I got it. I know why. I know why.
Yeah.
It's an election year.
Yeah, but that flies in the face of what's going on with the establishment and Micah and hanging out with Rob, because I'm going to tell you, that brings me back to, has JD had a falling out with the establishment? Because it being an election year, JD doesn't get points with the administration, with the establishment, hanging out with Rob Kendall. He's not going to get points from Todd Houston hanging out with Micah Beckwith. That's not going to be the case. It's real strange. Why was he not working on this plan when he was instead working through bills based on silencing your voice? The citizens out there, all of you, Janet, Dave, me, Kate, Niles, EJAC, every single one of you in the state of Indiana. In the last couple of years, he has attempted to silence our ability to redress our government. That is a violation of our First Amendment right, folks. Why instead was he not working on this plan then? I'm sorry, but JD doesn't get to live the last several years as one of the most repugnant elected officials in Indiana. And now, simply because he and Beckwith share the same religion, he gets a pass and it's all forgiven. I'm sorry, but that does not work that way. If Beckwith and Rob and anybody else want to call JD a good friend, a good Christian, a good man, a good husband, or whatever, have at it. But he does not get to be called public servant of the year, a man of the people, after living the life that he's lived as a public servant for the last several years. JD does not get the term public servant. That's stripped from him. He is not a public servant. He is a self-servant. He is a friend's servant.
Here's your self-service.
Lieutenant Crouch has been steadfast ally to the Indiana General Assembly. Susan has always picked up the phone, willing to assist with both constituent issues and administrative policies. With Susan's history in both local and state government, I believe she is uniquely qualified to serve as the next governor of Indiana, State Representative JD Prescott. Yeah, that's the thing. He is the person that will do whatever he needs to do to make sure he looks good in the eyes of the person that he considers to be the top prize. You know, JD doesn't get a pass. The thing is, I also happen to worship the same God that Micah and JD do. I'm a Christian. But JD has treated me like I'm a leper. And that's just not going to cut it. All he's doing here is attempting to jockey himself into some kind of better political situation. And that, my friends, has nothing to do with public service. Remember this. JD is the man that refused to speak to any crowd that possibly could contain an audio or video recorder. He ran out of a third house legislative event when a lifelong friend, an elderly woman that was a friend of his mother's, and a friend of his father's, when someone who had been a school teacher of his, someone who was a friend of his mother, and he's the biggest mama's boy. All right? I'll give him a here for that, because so am I. I get it. But JD ran out of the room kicking, scrying, and screaming. Kicking and crying and screaming, if I said that out of order or weird. Kicking, crying, and screaming. He ran out of the room when this elderly, lifelong friend of he and his parents dared to ask him a question just a couple of years ago. Miss me with JD being a hero. That's just not something I'm going to buy. He's more like a radical fascist, in my opinion. And JD fits that. Absolutely. I agree. Hold on. Don't mind the Kamala Harris commercials when you click on our channel. We're trying to get that crap stopped as soon as possible. Someone just texted me and said it's comical that I got Kamala Harris as I clicked on your to watch your show. We do not endorse Kamala Harris on this channel. So it'll be interesting to see what he says next week. It'll be interesting to see how Rob responds to that. I'm interested to know if Rob is if JD's turning this corner after they get through the property tax reform. I dare Rob to open the phone lines up. Let's have some questions. Let's allow JD to answer from some constituents. I'll tell you what, Rob. I'll tell you what. Why don't you have Rob... I keep calling you guys the same thing. Why don't you have JD Prescott and I in together? How about that? I'll tell you what. Rob, you schedule the political spotlight and JD to come in together. We will sit quietly and listen to him talk without interruption throughout his segment, giving his plan. And then at the time that you allow, I will sit quietly and we will allow Mr. Rudd to have a friendly conversation with JD. Oh, John, you're going to want to go back and watch it. It's all about JD, our friend. Yeah, Janet, that's a great idea. That's exactly right, Alva. It's crazy.
For those of you watching, the gentleman commenting right now, Bartlett for Indiana, he is running against JD Prescott for District 33 this November. His name is John Bartlett. He is running as a Democrat.
Yeah.
You may want to look into him and see what you think and decide whether you think JD or Mr. Bartlett would be a better representative for District 33. Just throwing that out there in case anybody didn't know.
Tweety Bird, that's a really good question. The JD would never trap himself in a room with you, Chris. That's probably true. I would love it. That would be amazing. So a brief history on JD Prescott. He was crapped out underneath a rock somewhere and went to school, was kind of a loser through all of that, picked at, poked on, and it was what it was. Got out. He was just kind of a crybaby bitch boy who whined and cried anytime he didn't get his way with his parents. Literally, his parents bought him a Camaro. Shake your head yes or no. Was it a Camaro? Or was it okay, it was a Camaro. They bought him a Camaro. And he literally did one of those things where he was like, I don't want it. It's not the right color. That's a true story. That is very, 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 very serious. The other night on my birthday, I told you the story of the Sean Byram, mayor of Winchester, and the drug fiasco, the drug house, and my fight with that. In 2018, Sean Byram was running as a Democrat for District 33 State Representative seat. Dale Arnett, the current judge in Randolph County, was running for that seat as a Libertarian, and JD Prescott was running as the Republican. Oh, we're not done, Tweety Bird. And in 2018, I did not want Sean Byram to win. Believe it or not, Sean Byram would have been worse than JD. He would have been worse than JD. So I, yours truly, worked on Team Prescott, and we worked hard to get JD elected. I was part of the problem. I told JD, in all fairness, I told him while we were in the same room, I looked at him. I've had him on my program before. He came on early in the early days, answered questions and everything. And he was a bitch back then about it. So weird. I told him, one of these days, JD, you and I will be on opposite sides. I can promise you that. Because I knew back then I did not want him to be a 2, 3, 4, 5 term representative. I wanted him to beat Sean and then us beat him a year or two later. So 2018, he beat Sean Byram. I was happy he beat Sean Byram. After he won election, he told me, as he was, state representatives when they win in November, they don't what are you talking about, Janet? You're sick of screaming into your phone. They don't wait until January to take over. They get sworn in at midnight on election night. So they become state representative as soon as they win. Their term is from November to November, not January to December. Okay. He told me right after he won, I'm not going to do anything my first year. I'm going to sit back and just see how everything goes. And I was like, what? You should already know. We should already have bills that you're going to work. As soon as he told me that, I thought, oh my God. He was in office for about 6 months before I called him out on something, and he cut me off. He cut me off. I asked him a question, and he stopped communicating. He used to tell me he would come on and do monthly interviews or quarterly interviews, and he never did that. He was always horrible with that. So he'd never liked being questioned. He was always afraid of being put on the record. Very much like Scott Alexander. Yeah. They are two peas in the pod. Yeah, right. He needed a year to kiss the right asses. That's exactly right. So instantly, I started trying to work on getting him beat. We've had a couple Democrats run against him. In 2020, someone named Brittany Clower ran against him. That was the year of COVID, and elections were thrown all off. And even though she didn't really campaign and it was kind of chaotic, she did really well against him. 2 years later, she ran again, and Brittany and Kate and myself and Niles and Brittany's husband. You see him sometimes in here. He comments in here every now and then. His name's Brandon Clower. He is a friend of our Brandon Rudd. I think they work together or something. Anyways, Brittany Clower ran against JD, and she did really well. She stuck it to him. They had to dump all kinds of money into beating him. And we were hoping and thinking and praying that she was going to run against him this time, but unfortunately, they moved. Man, it must be something with those Brandon people. All the Brandons moving. Brandon Clower moved. Brandon Rudd moved. I think they maybe even moved to the same area. I don't really know. That was kind of crazy. Anyways.
Well, the Brandon in the White House is moving too.
What? Oh, yeah, that's true. That is true. Now, John Bartlett is our chance. John Bartlett took 6% back from him in 2 years ago when Bartlett's ran against him before. Bartlett is running against him now. And I would highly recommend people take a look at John. We'll have John come on one of these days and talk before the election. We'll have him come on and do a chit chat so you guys can get introduced to him. John, if you have not heard, JD is going on with Kendall and Casey next Monday, a week from today, to talk about some property tax reform plan that he's been working on. So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say. So that's that. What he's proposed, he hasn't written. That's very true. Yeah, very, very, very bizarre person. His dad used to be a commissioner in Randolph County, and that's how they got a lot of their connections and their strings. No, not that. Not that. That's the Republicans are getting ready for whatever reason to have 2 property tax reform plans. They're going to have the Braun Beckwith plan that Braun went on Kendall and Casey and talked about on Friday, and then just today started backpedaling on. And then next Monday, the 5th of August, JD is going on. JD is going on to talk about the Beckwith Prescott plan. And I think that Beckwith is a silent partner in that, silent author. He's like a ghostwriter, but it is what it is. So, folks, that's going to be that for tonight's program. I hope everybody remains safe throughout the evening. I think the storms are out of the way. I think we're pretty much over everything now. Let me see. I think it's pretty much over. 11. Yeah, it's more or less. We've got a little lightning, a little rain here and there, but we should be good to go. Everybody, if you have not listened to today's Kendall and Casey, please go check that out on YouTube. What I might do, Kate put the link in the comments. I might find all of the pertinent parts, and I might pull the timestamps, and we might listen to them tomorrow if you guys are interested in it. We'll find out. I'll go back through and listen to them. We'll see what happens. We've got a lot of content to be talking about, but I'm just going to let you guys know this right now. I'm going to let you guys know right now. JD Prescott is not a public servant. He needs to go immediately. And I'll do whatever I can to help that. I get what you're saying about screaming into the phone when Kamala comes on. Yeah, we're trying to take care of that. I'll let you guys know. I don't know what the deal is. Brandon was talking about it too. So I'll keep you guys posted. Hey, I thank you guys for tuning in and watching tonight's program. I do want to let you know, I know we've been talking about state government, but I need to say it. Today, obviously, is Monday, the 29th of July. It's day 210 with no correspondence from at-large Muncie City Councilor Dale Basham. No communication, no email, no text, no phone call, no Facebook Messenger, no nothing, no slap in the face. Refuses to answer. That's a horrible, horrible, horrible way to go. So many of our elected officials choose to do this. It's disgusting, and I hate it. And the only thing that can make me better, the only thing that can make any of this any better, is if every single one of you gives me the thumb. If you guys go and give me the thumb, hit the like in this video. Please share the show with everyone you know. I know we got off to a little bit of a crazy start with the weather and everything and being a little late. I apologize, but we want to keep everybody safe. So thank you guys for everything, being here and listening to this. We will have more commentary tomorrow. Tomorrow, episode 252, God willing, we will be here at 9 p.m. Eastern on the dot, hopefully this time. And we will go from there. You guys take care. Have a good day at work and in your life tomorrow, or wherever you are, whenever you're listening to this. You guys, we will see you then. Take care. God bless. Good night and goodbye.